NASCAR has been a part of American culture since 1948. It began as a family business led by the France family. It grew to become one of the most popular sports in the U.S. Today, the sport faces a new future that may change its long history. The leaders of NASCAR now talk about international expansion. They want to take the excitement of racing to new countries, and also discuss selling part of the ownership stake held by the France family. This is the first time in its long history that NASCAR may open its doors to outside investors. NASCAR President Steve Phelps has said that the sport must change to remain competitive. He thinks that the sport must move quickly into new markets, and Phelps sees an opportunity for growth outside the borders of the U.S. He believes that new money and fresh ideas can help NASCAR grow. Many private equity firms have already shown an interest in auto racing. In recent years, some firms have bought stakes in NASCAR teams. For example, a firm once invested in Roush Racing and another firm took part in a deal with Joe Gibbs Racing. A recent deal saw another investor join Legacy Motor Club. These moves show that investors see profit in racing. The idea of a firm buying into NASCAR itself is new and very radical. NASCAR made a first international appearance when it joined the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In that race, a team entered with the name Garage 56. This race took place in Europe and showed that NASCAR can perform on a world stage. The sport also plans a Cup Series race in Mexico City soon. There's even talk of an exhibition race in Brazil later in the coming years. Each of these events has the potential to add new fans. The sport of NASCAR has built its reputation over nearly 80 years. It's been strong and unapologetically American. Fans in the southeastern U.S. and the Midwest have been loyal to NASCAR for decades. They enjoy the culture that surrounds the races, valuing the history and the passion that have grown over time. These traditions are important to many people who watch NASCAR. If NASCAR sells a part of its ownership, it may be able to invest more in international events. The sale may bring fresh money that can be used to upgrade technology and facilities. It may also create new partnerships with international sponsors. This new money can help NASCAR organize more events outside the U.S. and turn more fans into the sport. NASCAR must balance its rich American heritage with its plans for global growth. The sport is known for its simple style and its deep roots in American racing. It has a culture that many call rough and exciting. Changing too much too quickly may risk losing the fans who have supported NASCAR for many years. It's important that any change does not erase what makes NASCAR unique. The international market, though, is large and full of potential. Many countries around the world have a strong interest in auto racing. Some nations already have well-established racing series. For example, Formula One is a popular sport in Europe and Asia. Formula One races occur in more than 20 countries. NASCAR may need to start small and grow slowly in these markets. A gradual approach will allow the sport to learn and adjust. The idea of international expansion is not new in sports. Many leagues have taken steps to play games overseas. The NFL holds games in London and Mexico City each year, while the NBA organizes events in Europe and Asia. These sports have embraced global audiences and seen great success. NASCAR must now decide if it wants to follow a similar path. The sport has many numbers that show its success. In the U.S., NASCAR draws millions of viewers every year. Major races attract hundreds of thousands of fans at the tracks, and some even generate over $10 million in local economic activity. These numbers prove that NASCAR has a strong foundation, but by adding international events, the sport hopes to grow these numbers even more. Some fans worry, though, that too many changes may harm the sport. They fear that international expansion will erode the American spirit of NASCAR. These fans enjoy the tradition that has been passed down through generations. They worry that a change in focus may make NASCAR lose its identity. It's a difficult challenge to add new markets while keeping the heart of the sport intact. The leadership at NASCAR is aware of these concerns. They understand that the sport is more than a business. NASCAR is a part of many families' traditions and memories, and they know that any move must respect the past while looking towards the future. Balancing these two goals is a complex task that requires careful planning. The potential sale of an equity stake may be linked to other challenges. NASCAR is currently involved in legal battles that add uncertainty to its future. Two race teams have brought a lawsuit against NASCAR, and these legal issues may push the France family to consider new ways to manage the sport. Selling a part of their stake may be seen as a way to settle disputes or bring in new leadership. This new chapter in NASCAR's history is not only about money, it's about innovation and growth. NASCAR has always relied on new technology to improve the racing experience. In modern racing, teams use data to make split-second decisions. But new investments could help improve this technology even further. Better technology may lead to better races and a more exciting experience for fans. NASCAR must also consider the interest of many different groups. The sport has many partners such as sponsors, TV networks, and racetracks. Each partner has a role in how the sport is run. Many of these partners have a strong interest in keeping NASCAR American. They worry that too much international focus may change the sport in ways that they do not like. It's important for NASCAR to listen to all these voices as it makes decisions. The financial side of racing is very important in today's world, and many investors use numbers to guide their decisions. They look at profit margins and growth rates to decide where to invest. In the case of NASCAR, investors may look for a 15 to 20% increase in international viewers over the next 5 years. They may set a goal of organizing at least 3 international events in the next decade, and these targets show that the potential for growth is measured by numbers. NASCAR is also aware of the differences in fan expectations across countries. American fans enjoy the close and rough racing that has defined NASCAR for many years, while international fans may prefer a different style of racing. They may want longer races or different track layouts. NASCAR will need to study these differences if it hopes to succeed abroad. Adapting to new markets may require adjustments in rules and race formats. For now, NASCAR is testing the waters with its international plans. The Cup Series race in Mexico City is one of the first steps. This race will show how well the sport can connect with fans in a new market. If the race is a success, then NASCAR may plan additional events in other countries. The hope is that a slow and steady approach will build a global fan base over time. The decision to sell an equity stake is a bold one. The France family has controlled NASCAR for nearly 80 years. Their decision to sell a portion of their stake could open up new opportunities for the sport. It may also create challenges as new investors join the leadership. The balance between old traditions and new ideas is delicate and must be managed with care. The possibility of international expansion brings both promise and risk. On the one hand, new markets offer fresh revenue and a wider audience, but on the other, there's a risk of losing the unique American culture that has defined NASCAR. The sport must find a way to honor its past while embracing new opportunities. This is certainly not an easy task, and many will watch closely to see how it goes. Now, don't hesitate to comment down your thoughts on this. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.